welcome to today's episode of T-SARP. I'm your host, Andrew Weir, and today we're going to be talking about how to get started coding in 2023. To help me out is my co-host, Sam.
Oh,
And yeah, so I guess we should get into it. Sam, how do you think kids should go about coding in 2023?
um, what I would say if you're in elementary or middle school, and even if you're brand new in high school, I would say you should start off with Scratch. It's easy, it's visual, and you can understand it quite quickly, I'd say.
Yeah, and everything you need is right in front of you. That's something I love about it because when you start in Python, all you have is or any other language, is just a blank file, and you have
Yeah,
no idea what you should write.
yeah. And
Um,
there are even
so
tutorials built in, I'm pretty
yeah, there's
sure.
tutorials built into Scratch. There's tons of other people in the community that can help you, and every block you need is right there, and you can drag it in and you can do whatever you want. It was created by MIT to help students like young kids get into coding and try to get them ready for if they wanted to go into computer science in college or high school or any grade. But yeah, so if you're not a kid, starting with Scratch might seem silly and it might seem too easy and you
It's
might
a
not
really
like
good
it.
base, actually.
It is. I mean, I think it's great for all ages. There's lots of adults that like to do it, but if you don't, for whatever reason, you should start with Python. You heard us talk about it a bit earlier. It's got a very simple syntax, meaning that it's hard to like miss something. Like if you miss a parentheses,
Yeah,
it will tell you, the compiler tells you every mistake pretty easily, tells you where you
mm,
made the mistake. Same as pretty much any language, but I found that Python, especially Python 3, is very good at telling you what mistake you made, where it was,
yeah.
and
It's very
you
helpful
don't.
when it comes to that.
Yeah, very helpful. There's no semicolons at the end, so you
Oh,
don't
God.
have like when you forget one, or if you forget them all, it's a pain to go back and fix them. You don't need to do that. Um, yeah, in Python 2, it was even more simple. You didn't really need parentheses a lot, but go to Python 3. It's more up to date. It's what they're using in colleges and high school and in the
Yeah.
real world.
And it's a
Um,
good starter for text-based thing because like pretty much every language is text-based. It's a good start.
Yeah, and Python is being used on the web. It's being used for data science, data collection. It's great if if you're in the science world, and want to move into coding, or you might even just want to learn coding for your science job. Python is great because like I said, great for data collection, great for analyzing data. It's built to really do anything, but those are its strong suits.
Yeah.
Um, if you want to make games, um, Scratch definitely a great place to start. That's where all you really do is make games, and it's
Yeah.
great to learn.
And there's amazing
And
tutorials on YouTube to get you started too.
yes, for really any language, if you don't want to pay anything, go to YouTube. YouTube teaches you anything you want to learn. It's all right there. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to join different communities, whether it's on Reddit, whether it's on Discord, and ask questions.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's always good to, you could, I guess, ask us questions in the comments if you want.
Yeah. We won't
But
respond, but
yeah, we might not, but it's you can. Um,
it's worth a shot.
yeah. But here's if you're kind of stuck, right, and you're like, I know everything there is to know, but I don't know what to do with all this knowledge. A great place to go is GitHub. Okay, GitHub basically is where someone uploads their code and they say, "Hey, here's the finished thing, and but if you find a problem or you find a feature you want to add, you can code that feature into the program and submit it back, and that person can choose if they want to add it to their program, and you can feel like you did something. You were a part of that program.
You're finally
Um,
not a failure.
and it's a really cool feature. But it's not just that. If someone has a problem with code and they upload it and you see it, you can fix their whole code and without you, they couldn't make that program. So GitHub's a really cool place to what if you don't have an idea or you're not that good at coding to where you can't make your own program, you can just add small pieces and work together with a bunch of other people. It's a
And
great place to
website
collaborate.
another website I would like to add is Stack Overflow. Like you can use it for Scratch, but I would say Python and like other text-based languages. It's amazing. Um,
Yeah, so if you run into a problem, you can go to Stack Overflow. I mean, for learners, I definitely don't think you should just be copying and pasting
yeah,
whatever. I think
yeah.
you should read what
If you
it's
need
giving
help,
you, what that code's doing, read what the person that gave you that code um says it does, says why it does that. Read more about the code before you just copy and paste it. I
but
think
yeah,
that will be very helpful.
and you
Yeah. Also, and now this is a controversial opinion, but I've spoken to a few other people that have said and agreed that Chat GPT is a
oh,
very helpful tool if you use it correctly. Okay, I do not recommend, especially just learning, to say, build me this program, and then be like, oh, it did it. I'm a genius. Because you didn't do
yay!
anything. Okay? Now, if you use it in the correct manner, say you go on Stack Overflow and you get a piece of code, you're like, this works, but I have no idea what it does and it didn't explain it. You can go to
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT,
can you explain
give
this
it
code for me?
exactly, and it will give you the explanation on what it does. It's a great tool for learning as long as you use it correctly. And what if you run into a problem and you're like, I don't know how to fix this? And you give it to it and it says, oh, here was the problem. This is what you did wrong. This is how you can do it in the future. As long as you read all that stuff and you learn the mistake you made, it's going to help you a lot. If you
Don't
just
just
copy
copy
and
things.
paste,
Just
just
read
don't.
it.
Yeah, learning anything. Hey, this goes for anything, especially coding. Don't just copy and paste. If you just copy and paste, you know you're not learning, you know you're not understanding that topic.
Yeah.
So, Sam, you have any final words on how to get
Um.
started coding in 2023?
um I don't think so, but I would like to say one thing. There is gonna be a few ups and downs when you start, and even like when you amass, there's gonna be a few ups and downs. But they just get over. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, there's gonna be days where you want to punch your monitor because you keep getting bugs. And not to, go back to Scratch, but that's why Scratch is very good because you never run into errors, I should say. There's gonna be
You
times where
do,
there's bugs. There's gonna be times where there's bugs that you need to fix, but it always runs. That's
yeah,
what I like about Scratch because there's never red text where it does nothing. It always does something, and I think that's great for learners just starting out.
yeah.
Um, so thanks for watching today's episode. Thanks for being here, Sam, and we will see you
Okay.
in the next one. Bye bye.
Goodbye.